Allie's World. Come on down to Allie's World. Hey there, we can have some fun. Join us for Allie's World. Come on, 'cause you are number one. Hey there, come on and watch Allie's World. Hey there, don't stop till we're done. Come on, join us for Allie's World. Come on, we can have some fun. We can bake and do some arts and crafts. We can use our imagination. And then we can make some things you see. There'll be three ideas for when we are done. Come on and watch Allie's World. Oh yeah, we can have some fun. Hey there, come on and watch Allie's World. It's on the television. Would you like to take some tours with me? Would you like to take a vacation? Would you like to travel around the world? Or maybe stay in your very own home? Hey there, come along to Allie's World. Come see all the things we see. Won't you come along to Allie's World? All here, all right here with me. Have some fun in Allie's World. Have some fun in Allie's World. Have some fun in have some fun in Allie's. Have some fun in This show is called Allie's World. This show is for kids and grown-ups. Hi, I'm Allie. Hi, I'm Naomi. Today on Allie's World, we're going to visit the vet and the police station. We'll also chat with Raymond and Sybil Banfill. And we'll learn about nature and pollution. Now I get to do some arts and crafts, fun for kids. Just think after you watch the show, you can do these things too. I hope you enjoy Allie's World. Now let's go to the vet. On this day, we took my dog Andy to her spring checkup at the vet. Andy gets a little nervous when she goes to the vet. Andy is 7 years old. Before I was born, my mom and dad got Andy at Harvest Hills. This puppy came from Harvest Hills too. Isn't she cute? Owen tried to pick her up, but Mom said no, no, no. And so did I, and so did Daddy. You can go to Harvest Hills and get a dog or cat too. There are lots of animals that need good homes. Having an animal is lots of hard work, and once a year our dog needs to go to the vet. Just like I have to go to the doctor once a year to make sure we're healthy. I was reading a vet book when Scott Johnson, the veterinarian, came in to see Andy. First he noticed her teeth were dirty.
We'll start off by having them cleaned here. See those? We'll use an ultrasonic scaler first and clean them up. And then you guys can brush them at home.
Then Dr. Johnson checked Andy's eyes, ears, and face. He pushed down her chest, and then he moved her legs all around. Andy's been having a little trouble with her hind legs. Sometimes they hurt her. He called this an orthopedic exam. That's when he was checking her bones and joints. He pulled her legs back while I held her collar.
An orthopedic exam.
To find out where the problem was. Did you know that I want to be a veterinarian when I grow up? I love animals. After Dr. Johnson gave his orthopedic exam, he told us his diagnosis. A diagnosis means to identify a disease from symptoms. He asked us questions about when Andy seemed to be in pain and what caused the pain. He tested her by moving her legs around and feeling for signs or evidence of a problem so he can diagnose it. For example, if Dr. Johnson bent Andy's leg one way and he cried, he would have evidence that hurt her. Then, if he identified why, that would be his diagnosis. Can you say diagnosis?
She's got crepitus in her knees, which is like a grinding. It feels like, kind of feels like, well, almost feels like Rice Krispies. And she also doesn't like it when I extend her hip back like that, because she's probably got a little bit of dysplasia. Put her on a glucosamine supplement for dogs. I wouldn't put her on anything else right now. That would be it. She doesn't have any torn cruciate ligaments or anything like that. These are all nice and tight. Her knees are nice and tight.
After Dr. Johnson diagnosed Andy's leg and hip problems as early arthritis and mild dysplasia, he listened to her heart with a stethoscope, just like my doctor listens to my heart with a stethoscope. And then he summed up all of his recommendations for Andy's continued good health.
Real simple things, but I would have her teeth cleaned, to get rid of all the tartar, and then start off with a nice, fresh, clean surface. And in the meantime, I'd start her on a glucosamine supplement.
Okay.
Just to get those joints where they ought to be. The other thing is there are anti-inflammatories like Rimadyl and Ascriptin and things like that that you can put them on, but I don't really think she needs something like that. She's just got real early arthritis.
I'm glad Dr. Johnson didn't give Andy any medicine she didn't need yet. Next, I held Andy while Dr. Johnson trimmed her toenails. I don't think Andy liked it very much, but it's still an important job a veterinarian has to do. I guess I'll have to learn to do that when I'm a veterinarian. Andy sure was glad when she thought it was all over, but it wasn't. She still had to get shots. Dr. Johnson gave her a quick one. He went,
Actually, the distemper vaccine comes in 2 parts, and one's dry and one's a liquid. And mix them together and make a solution. Drew the solution out of this one, did in this one, which is like a dry. Yeah, so it looks like a little solution like that.
I held her for a shot.
Good girl.
Andy was such a good girl. I thanked Dr. Johnson for examining Andy. Owen thanked him too. Now it's time to go. He did a good job, especially with that quick shot. And Andy was so brave. I got Sandy's glad to get out of bed. Good doggy, Steve. I hope you enjoyed visiting the veterinarian with me. Here's what's next. Now let's take a look at the things I saw in nature. I see a beautiful flower that's peach, and it's called a hibiscus. I smelled the hibiscus flower. You won't believe what I saw next. A gecko. Geckos are small and harmless lizards. You usually find them in tropical climates like Florida. This is the globe we made of the earth. See Florida? Florida is in the tropical zone. See the white dotted line? That's the equator. The equator goes around the earth at its widest part. The areas nearest to the equator are closest to the sun all year long. So they are usually hot year-round. This area of the earth is called the tropical zone. Florida is in the tropical zone. The geckos live in Florida. That is their habitat. Your habitat is where you live. Let's learn some more. Geckos are insectivorous. Lizards. That means they are lizards that eat insects. Can you say insectivorous? Hey, what was that? Let's see it again. Wow, geckos can really move fast, can't they? Did you see that? That gecko puffed his neck out. This is the tree that the geckos are living in. I never saw a tree like this in New Hampshire. They have vines and shapes on the trunk. Probably lots of hiding places. That's a silly tree. I guess the geckos like living in that tree. We have little lizards in New Hampshire. There's one my dad found in our yard. Our yard is this little guy's habitat. Your home is your habitat. It's where you live. Some animals migrate and have different habitats at different times of year. Is this guy looking for his home?
I'll get him when he goes through.
He tickled me. No, he's gonna jump.
Oh, he jumped.
He jumped. Did you see that? Isn't he cute? Bye-bye, little lizard. I guess he needs to go back to his habitat. My habitat is in New Hampshire. New Hampshire is in the northeastern part of the United States, in an area called New England. See it on the globe? New England is not in the tropical zone. The zones north and south of the tropical zone are called the temperate zones. Here the earth is warm part of the year and cool part of the year. In the fall or autumn, in New England, the deciduous trees change color. They are getting ready for winter. The trees need to save up all of their energy for the long winter. The trees don't need to have leaves to make food for them in the winter. So the leaves change from green to other colors. The chlorophyll makes the green color in leaves. The chlorophyll goes out of the leaves when the cold weather comes. Then the beautiful colors come out of the leaves. Deciduous trees lose their leaves. My teeth are deciduous because they fall out and grow back in. These trees are evergreen because they stay green all winter. Look how the leaves are changing color. When it gets cold out, the leaves change color. These trees are deciduous. That means they will lose their leaves. Don't worry, they'll grow new ones in the spring. Aren't the colors beautiful? Did you know when it was summer in New England? It's winter on the other side of the earth, so it's snowing in July in New Zealand. So it's sunny here, and summertime, and it's wintertime here. No matter what part of the earth you're on, you can always see the moon. Hey, didn't you ever see the moon in the sky during the day? It's not just out at night. The moon is always going around the earth. You can look up in the sky every day, and you can look if you can see it too. Just think, when you look at the moon, there are other people probably in other countries looking at the moon too. Now let's see some other wildlife in the tropical zone. This is a pelican. A pelican has webbed feet and a long bill. Did you know a pelican has a pouch under his bill? To catch fish in. It's like a bird with a pocket. Look at that pelican fly. They sure are big. It reminds me of a pteranodon. Now let's see another bird. Oh, my lizard bird landing on a sailboat's mast. Yeah, I see the little... It is an osprey. Well, that was an osprey. An osprey is a large fish-eating hawk. It's mostly dark brown on top and white underneath. An osprey is a bird of prey and he catches fish. There's a fish in its talon. The bill of the bird of prey is called a beak. It has adapted for striking and tearing. A pelican's not a bird of prey. A pelican swallows its fish whole. Birds of prey have beaks for tearing, like a hawk and an eagle and an owl. With a beak, an osprey can tear up his fish. Ospreys are important, like eagles and peregrine falcons. And you have to be very careful because those are threatened birds. That means there's not a whole lot of them left on Earth because chemicals and people have killed them. In the 1950s, a chemical called DDT was used. DDT was used by farmers to kill bugs that ate their crops. The problem was the birds ate the poison bugs, and the poison was in the food chain. For example, if you poison a mouse, an owl eats the mouse, that poison might affect the owl. In the case of the chemical DDT, the birds didn't die, but the eggs laid started having problems. The eggshells were so thin that when the birds sat on them, the eggs would crack. Cracked eggs means no baby birds. Lots of these birds of prey almost became extinct. Extinct means there'll be no more left on Earth, like dinosaurs. They are extinct. I'm glad ospreys aren't extinct. Thanks to bird experts or ornithologists who figured out the thin eggshell problem was because of DDT. People realized they need to stop using DDT. Now ospreys and some other birds of prey are on the threatened species list. That means there are more on Earth than if we were on the endangered species list. But threatened still means there aren't as many ospreys on Earth. Do not worry about their future. Some people help them by building platforms that they can nest on. Look, the osprey nesting platform. I think we can do our part by not adding chemicals to the food chain. You never know what some chemicals can do before it's almost too late. I'm sure I'm glad people stopped using DDT. This osprey is beautiful to watch. I hope you enjoyed watching him too. What's up next? Now let's chat with Raymond Silver Banfill. On this day, Raymond told us a scary story.
I used to hitchhike over at my sister's, over to Keene.
New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Remember, this is a story from a long time ago. Long time ago. Hitchhiking can be very dangerous.
I started over this particular time, and I got as far as Hillsborough. And from Hillsborough on, there weren't no houses them days. And it was 3 o'clock. Well, I debated whether to stay in Hillsborough overnight or go, and I said, well, it's 3 o'clock, the sun was shining bright, and I said, I'll get a ride and get in there before dark.
What time of year was it?
Oh, in the winter. Well, I didn't get a ride, and I got halfway, well, not halfway, but probably third the way in there, and darkness overtook me. So I said, well, I'll just have to walk it.
How far was that?
Oh, gosh, it must be 10 or 15 miles anyway, or more. But you see, from 3 o'clock on, I had walked steady, and I walked fast them days, and I was in there quite a ways. Well, but it got dark, and I had no alternative but to keep walking, so I got, and it was all woods, you know, either side, big stretch of woods, and all of a sudden, it was about 11 or 12 o'clock, I heard this animal screech. This is a true story, Beth. I heard this animal screech off on the side of a hill. I kept walking. Pretty soon, he screeched again, and he was closer. So I started walking a little faster, hoping that I would find a house, you know. But there weren't any. Well, to make a long story short, I kept walking, and he kept getting closer. And he got right down, and well, I'll say he was a couple 100 feet from the road. And he'd screech. He'd screech more often then than he did before, when he was way off. Well, I started running. And I guess he started running because he kept screeching and getting closer and closer. And all of a sudden I saw a light on the right-hand side of the road, and It's right down over a little bank. So I knew there must be somebody there. So I run down over that bank, and there was a camp there and a horse hovel, and they were logging in that area, and they had their horses in the hovel, but the camp was unlocked and just as warm inside, and there was a light, kerosene light in there. I stayed in that. I went right in thinking there'd be somebody there, but there wasn't anybody in it.
Isn't that weird? A warm camp in the middle of the woods with a light on in those days? Scary. Where were the people? What kind of animal was it? We'll never know. Creepy.
So I stayed there till 5 o'clock the next morning, but that animal, whatever it was, I'll never know. He circled that camp 3 or 4 times, and then he took off, stopped screeching, and I stayed in the camp till 5 o'clock in the morning, and just beginning to break a day. Well, I got out, started walking towards the quay, and I hadn't walked 5 minutes when a guy come along with a car and give me a ride right into my sister's house. So I got in there about 5:45 that morning.
I'm glad Raymond never got hurt by that animal.
You don't mean to say you left here and hiked to Keene?
Oh, sure, we used to hitchhike over there. They'd give you a ride. It wasn't like it is today. They trusted people them days, but today you wouldn't get a ride because you couldn't.
What?
They wouldn't trust people.
And I'm glad he never got hurt hitchhiking. Hitchhiking can be very dangerous. I hope his scary story didn't upset anybody. Here's what's next. And now, Alice, where we visited the police station. That's when we met Sergeant Billet. Today we're going to visit more of the police station. First we met Mrs. Dicey. We had to salute her.
We have to salute.
Do you know how to salute?
Mrs. Dicey is a secretary. She is the chief secretary. She runs the police station, let me tell you. If we need something done, we find Mrs. Dicey.
We had to bow to Chief Mullen.
This is Chief Mullen, okay? He's in charge of the whole building, so whatever he says goes, most of the time.
I babysit all of these people.
Poor man.
It's like running a business, and I'm the boss.
Somebody has a question for him.
Yes.
I asked the chief a question. I asked him what the picture behind him was.
There's a picture of the Vietnam Wall, which is a memorial. It's located in Washington, D.C., and it was given to me by my wife.
It's a memorial to the Vietnam War. After we met the chief, we went on to see Laura Kennett.
What's a usual call that Laura gets today?
If someone wanted to call and talk to Sergeant Billard, I'd take the call for him, and I'd either give him the call or I'd take a message for him.
If somebody has an accident in the road, I have to do a report, tell you what happened. And once I finish my report, Laura gets that report, and she takes it, puts it in a file.
Next, we met a real-life detective, Detective Alan Breuer.
Do investigations a little more deeply than the patrol officers are able to do because they're so busy answering calls. And some of this equipment we use here, we can take videos from the camera and put it through the computer and take pictures off the video.
Look at all these badges from all different police departments. They even have badges from other countries. This badge is from Austria. That's a country in Europe. Way across the Atlantic Ocean. These badges are from the Navajo police in Navajo Nation, way out west. This is Officer Sean McGrath. We saluted him too. Sergeant Black took us to the booking room.
When someone bad is we take into custody, we arrest him, we bring him in here. This is what the booking room is. This is where we take all their information in. And if they were drinking and driving, how we have too much alcohol or drink too many beer, you have to take a test. This is called a breathalyzer test. And what we also make them do is, see this black line on the floor? You have to walk on the black line when you drink too much.
There's the fingerprinting stuff. He let us go through his police car. And then he let me turn on a siren.
Push your button.
It sure was loud.
Wait for a second, okay.
We posed for a picture by a police car. Then we went back into the police station.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming. It's been a great day.
We sure had a great time at the police station. Hope you did too. Here's a real osprey nesting platform. And it has a nest. So don't get too close. Don't disturb nature. Today for arts and crafts, we made paper finger puppets. We drew onto index cards and then cut them out. I look fudge. I look fudge. The sea would drink. Say I look fudge. Time to go to the vet. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. There's a problem with my doggy. He ate too much fudge and got sick.
Fudge? Well, you mean chocolate fudge?
Yes.
Do you know chocolate is very dangerous for dogs?
Yes. He ate every time I wasn't looking.
He ate all of the fudge?
Yes.
Oh dear, let me have a look. It's very important that you don't let your doggies eat chocolate. Chocolate may taste yummy, but it's not good for doggies.
It's not good for you.
Now remember, what's the rule?
So no eating any kind of chocolate.
Do you have heartworm pills for your doggie?
Yes, I do.
And you give them once a month to make sure your doggie doesn't get heartworm, okay?
Yes, I promise.
It's had all its shots, and you remember to take good care and brush its teeth.
Yes.
Have a great day.
Have a great day too. Come on, doggy. Oh! I sure had fun making my puppet show. Hope you make one too. I'd like to thank all the people who helped me make this show, like Dr. Scott Johnson at the Fryeburg Veterinary Clinic, Sergeant Sean Billard, and all the people at the police department, Raymond and Sybil Banfill, and Dan Brown. He made the music synth animals. We use that music for the whole show. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed Allie's World. Now you can email me at alliesworldnh@hotmail.com. Remember, when you email, use all lowercase letters. That means no capital letters and no spaces. Not even an apostrophe after Allie. Just Allie's World NH all mashed together. I hope to hear from you. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed Allie's World. Won't you join me next time?
Those was the good old days, Beth. Some different than then and now.